Hello, welcome back. So now in this part, we will discuss some more concepts of column. So first we will discuss what is unsupported length of column. Now this understanding of unsupported length and then effective length is very important because it is being used in calculating the slenderness ratio. And slenderness ratio is used to classify the column as short or long column. So first we will see what is unsupported length. So unsupported length is basically, it may be represented as L, and it may be taken as, it is generally taken as clear height of the column. So floor to floor height is basically the height, basically the unsupported length. So that we can understand with the help of this diagram. Say for example, if a column is, the flat plates are resting on the column. So in that case, sorry, then in that case, this will be the unsupported length. Similarly, if we have a flat slab, so in that case, this part is called capital. So generally we measure the unsupported length from the bottom of the capital to uh, here also. So this becomes the unsupported length. Similarly, if we have the column whose end is like this, so in that case, we measure the unsupported length L like this. And in this case, which is a very common case, if column is connected with two beam of different depth, so in that case, the unsupported length along the x-axis and along the y-axis will be different. As you can see, this length will be Ly and this length will be Lx. So Lx will be higher than Ly. So this is how the unsupported length is being calculated. Now all these things are defined in this clause. So as per this clause, I have shown these figures. Now coming to the next topic, that is effective length. Now what is effective length? Effective length is basically a length which may be defined as the distance between point of inflection in the buckled configuration. For example, if there is a column and which is connected from both the ends. Now it is very important to understand how it is being connected, how firmly it is connected. So if load is coming on this column, then how it will buckle? It may buckle like this. So as you can see, I have just started the curve from this point. So inflection point are basically the point from where the curve or the curvature changes or curve starts. So as you can see, the curve is directly started from this point and ending at this point. So the total length will be effective length. Similarly, a column may be connected with some different end conditions also. And in that case, because of the load, it may start buckling from here and from here. So in that case, curvature is starting at the, ending at this point and starting at this point. So in that case, this may be the effective length. So this effective length is depending on the end condition, how firmly this column is connected. So that is what we call effective length, which depends on the buckling configuration and that depends on the end conditions. So effective length depends on the unsupported length. Yes, basically this effective length is basically the fraction of length. It may be the fraction of length and it actually dependent on this length and the boundary condition. Boundary condition means columns end condition, how it is being connected at the ends. So effective length is expressed as LE, and LE is basically the product of this KL. Now L is unsupported length and K is the effective length factor. So this K is known as effective length factor. Now this effective length factor depends on the end conditions of the column, how column is connected at its ends. So, so based on this, IS code has given a table, and I am showing you that table here. So as you can see, different values of effective length is given here, which is depending on the end condition. So as you can see in the first case, it says effectively held in position and restrained against the rotation. So as it means, column is firmly held at these two points, which means it is effectively held. It means it will not translate along this direction or along this direction, and at the same time it will not rotate, which means it is fixed from the both ends. And in that case, the recommended value of effective length will be 0.65 times of L. So in this case, 0.65 is basically the value of K. So this is how we calculate the effective length. Similarly, in the second case, it says effectively held in position at both ends, restrained against rotation at one end only, which means column is fully fixed at this end, but at the other end, it is it is effectively held against the translation only, which means translation along this direction and in this direction will not occur, but it may rotate at this position, which means curvature will directly start from this end only. So in that case, the recommended value of effective length is this one. Similarly, we have another case in which column is effectively held in position but not restrained against the rotation. So from both ends, it may rotate. So at that time, in that case, curvature will directly start from the starting point of the ends. So in that case, effective length will be equals to the unsupported length. Similarly, we may have different cases, say column is fully fixed at one end and partially fixed at the other end. So in that case, we may have different value of effective length. We may have cantilevered column like this. So in this, it is fixed at the ground and free at the other end. In that case, effective length can be considered as 2 times of L. So all these values are given in the IS code. So you can refer to that. Now, coming to the next topic, which is behavior of short column, because we will be mainly concerned with the design of short column, and they are basically the preferred choice of designing. So we need to understand how short column will behave with different types of reinforcement, whether we provide lateral ties or we provide spiral reinforcement, how it behaves. So that behavior is shown with the help of a graph. Now, when we apply a load, how deformation will occur? So as you can see, if load is applied axially at the column, then the load carrying capacity of column, how it will be varying. So as you can see, up to this load, this value is corresponding to this load. So when we apply the load and when we increase the load, it will compress and ultimately it will lead to crushing. Now this crushing is happening because of various factors. Now this crushing also need to be understood. As you can see, if we take the case of column having lateral ties, now lateral ties have a relatively high pitch, and because of this pitch, the bars may buckle. So when we apply load, bars at the local point joint, they starts buckling between the ties. And if we take the next case, if if we have column with the spiral reinforcement, so spiral have less space. As you can see, they have less space, which is called pitch. So it has pitch higher than this value. And because of that, concrete within the spiral is confined, and therefore the load carrying capacity of the column, if it is provided with the spiral reinforcement, will be higher than the column having lateral ties. So this is also shown with the help of this graph. So the column with the lateral ties can take load up to this. If we further apply the load, then it won't take load and it will further collapse. But at the same time, if we provide spirals, so you can see the deformation is taken by the spiral, which means uh, spiral reinforcement provides more ductility. And if we have heavy spiral, which means with the low pitch, in that case, it may have some more load carrying capacity also. So it is ductile as well as with high load carrying capacity as compared to the lateral ties. So we can say that short column with spiral will have higher load carrying capacity than with the lateral ties. So this graph actually shows the actual behavior of short column with different types of transverse reinforcement. So here the main function of transverse reinforcement is to hold the bars. Like these bars are firmly held by these transverse reinforcement. Here also, these vertical bars are firmly held by this spiral. And holding this spiral will enhance its load carrying capacity by avoiding the local buckling of the bars. So we will continue our discussion in the next part. Thank you.